Hello students, hope you are all doing well and studying well. Today we are entering into a new chapter, that is Unit 4, Age of Hardy. So Age of Hardy refers to the period between 1887 to 1928. So nearly 40 years comes under the period Age of Hardy. So for your kind information, I'm going to tell about Age of Tennyson. Just recall it. It is from 1832 to 1887. So this Age of Hardy contains from 1887 to 1928. So the previous year is called as Age of Tennyson is called as Victorian Age, which is full of achievements, and even the scientists and inventors and everyone are thinking about controlling even nature. So there were during that period there is a lot of progress, like industrial progress, colonial expansion, multiplication of material wealth, and the country is immensely flourishing during Victorian period. And to say about Victoria's reign, it is from 1837 to 1901. So the period comes under Age of Tennyson as well as Age of Hardy. So some part of the year of Age of Hardy also comes under Victorian reign. That is from 1837 to 1901. Okay, it is nearly 63 years comes under the reign of Victoria. So this 63 years are the country is immensely flourishing. Okay, so then in 1897 what happened? There was a diamond jubilee celebration of Queen Victoria's 60th year reigning. Okay, so as the queen has reigned 60 years, 60 long years, there is a jubilee called Diamond Jubilee that is celebrated in 1897. So this also is an important thing in this part. Okay, so during this time there is no other writer who is very full of intelligent and wit and everything. So some writers were merely imitating writers, but some other writers are revolting arrogantly. So during Age of Hardy's time, some writers were just imitating from the masters, and some writers were just revolting arrogantly. Okay, so why we call this period as Age of Hardy? Because Thomas Hardy was greatly admired by his juniors, and he was a man who was outstanding and exceptional genius of this time. So because of that reason, the age is termed as Age of Hardy. Okay, which is the period of Age of Hardy? It is from 1887 to 1928. Nearly 40 years of age comes under Age of Hardy. So now I think we'll discuss about the major writer, that is Thomas Hardy. So Thomas Hardy is not only a novelist, he has also written some good poems. Okay, so here we begin to learn about Thomas Hardy. So Thomas Hardy is born in the year 1840, and he is trained as a worker of architect. He is well known for his architecture. He studied architecture from a man, and he had a good knowledge, or a thorough knowledge of churches, buildings, everything. Okay, and he lived in Dorchester, or you can call it as Dorset. is also called as Dorchester. Okay, he lived in Dorchester, that is Dorset, which you call it as Dorset, and he is placed in the literary map because of a fictional town called Wessex. I'm going to spell it Wessex, Wessex. So in a lot of novels, Thomas Hardy has portrayed this fictional town of Wessex. So Wessex is a fictional town which resembles old England with heath, borough, barn and byre. Okay, so this is a fictional town which describes heaths and boroughs and barn and byre. And now I think now we will move on to the works of Thomas Hardy. And one more thing to be noted, he is a pessimist. All the novels, you can see a tragic end of the character. So he has a negative view upon life. Okay, that is a pessimism. Okay, so total works of Thomas Hardy. So I am going to talk about 5 novels, 5 poems and 1 epic drama. So 5 novels, the total 5 novels are Tess. The first one is Tess of the D'Urberville, 1891. It is published in the year 1891. Jude the Obscure in 1895. The third one is Return of the Native, that is in 1878. The next one is The Woodlanders, that is in 1887, and Far from the Madding Crowd, that is in 1874. So the thing to be noted is all the novels of Thomas Hardy is very famous. The first work, that is Tess of the D'Urberville, is published in the year 1891. So let us see what is this novel talking about. So this novel's central character is Tess, who is a daughter of John D'Urberville. So here the life and suffering of Tess is vividly portrayed by Thomas Hardy. Okay, so the story revolves around Tess, who is a daughter of John D'Urberville. The next novel is Jude the Obscure, which is published in the year 1895. So this actually is the last major work of Thomas Hardy. Okay, so the last major work of Thomas Hardy is Jude the Obscure, and the characters, there are 2 major characters: Jude Farley, Jude, Jude, Jude Farley, Fawley, Jude Farley, who is planning to join a prestigious college, but unfortunately he cannot join into a college. And another character is Sue, S-U-E, Sue Bridehead, Bridehead, Sue Bridehead. So first, Jude Farley married a girl called Arabella. So the marriage ended in divorce, and then he grown a likeness towards Sue Bridehead, and later he have a live-in relationship with Sue Bridehead. So that is the story about Jude Farley and Sue Bridehead. The third novel is Return of the Native. So Return of the Native is published in the year 1878, and the protagonist is Thomasin, Thomasin, Thomasin. So here Thomasin is a protagonist, and the story revolves around Thomasin. And here the description of Egdon Heath, so a place called Egdon Heath is being described by Thomas Hardy, is to be noted. Okay, so Return of the Native portrays the Egdon Heath, a place called Egdon Heath. Then it talks about Thomasin. And the fourth work is The Woodlanders. The Woodlanders. So you can see the cover page of Woodlanders there. Okay, it is published in the year 1887. So this is a story which talks about social class and gender. So it is talking about social class and gender. So here the main character is Grace Melbury. Grace Melbury. Okay, and the fifth work is Far from the Madding Crowd. Far from the Madding Crowd. Madding. Madding Crowd. So this is one of the important novels of Thomas Hardy. So this is published in the year 1874. I hope you can see. You can see the cover page in the screen. So then this is a novel which talks about a lady called Bathsheba, Bathsheba. Okay, it talks about Bathsheba, and the three suitors for her are Boldwood, Sergeant, and Gabriel Oak. So three are having a likeness to marry Bathsheba. So that is the story about. So here ends the 5 novels. So what are the 5 novels? Tess of the D'Urberville. This the first work which talks about life of Tess and her sufferings in the long run. And Jude the Obscure is the next novel, and here Sue Bridehead and Jude Folly. Okay, and the next one is Return of the Native. It talks about Thomasin, and here Egdon Heath is vividly described. And the next work is The Woodlanders, and here you can see the social class and gender are being discussed. The next work is Far from the Madding Crowd. So here it talks about the suitors to Bathsheba. So how she is taking the farming as her profession, and how she's dealing with the suitors. Okay. The next work, that is, now we are going to learn about 5 poems of Thomas Hardy. So the first poem that I am going to discuss is Wessex Poems. So I told you, in all his novels he is portraying the fictional town of Wessex. So the first poem is Wessex Poems and Other Verses in the year 1898. So the setting of this poem is Dorset. So Dorset is a place where Thomas Hardy had his childhood. Dorset. Okay, and here he's talking about 51 poems total. Okay, and he started writing, shifting his perspective to poems in the year 1896. Okay, so in the year 1896 he stopped writing all the novels. Now he started writing poems. Okay, so this first poem, Wessex Poems, is and other verses, is written there 1898. The next poem is Tess Lament. Tess Lament. Here Tess is the character from Tess of D'Urberville. Here Tess Lament has something to do with the novel also. It's a poem which speaks directly to its novel. Okay, it's a poem written by Thomas Hardy which speaks directly to the novel. So it is talking about the suffering of Tess herself. Okay, the next poem, that is Weathers. 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 So this poem is about 2 seasons, that is spring and autumn. So there are 2 seasons discussed in Weathers. Which are they? Spring and autumn. And the fourth poem is In Time of the Breaking of Nations. In Time of the Breaking of Nations. So from the title itself you can understand that it is related to a nation. Okay, this is a war poem, so something related to the nation and war. So it's a famous war poem written by Thomas Hardy. Okay, it centers on World War First World War. The next poem, the fifth poem is Hap, H-A-P, Hap. So this poem is a poem which is composed early in his childhood, that is adolescence period. Okay, that is when he is just 20 years. He wrote this poem, Hap. Okay, this is one of the earliest composed poem of Thomas Hardy, and here he has described all his misfortune that he endured in his life. It's talking about his misfortunes that he endured in his life. Okay, so the 5 poems are Wessex poems and other poems. The next one, Test Lament. The next one, Withers. The next one, In Time of the Breaking of Nations. The next one is Hap. The last work, very important work, is one epic drama. So which is the epic drama written by Thomas Hardy? It is The Dynast. The Dynast, the Dynasts, The Dynast. It is published in the year 1908. Okay, so it is an epic drama. It contains 3 parts, and there is total 19 acts. So there is 3 parts in this epic poem, and this is also happening in Wessex. Okay, and this is also talking about Napoleonic War, war handled by Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, so the Dynast is a epic drama. So sometime you'll be asked which is the play or epic drama written by Thomas Hardy. I saw in your question paper the same question, which is that last work or last drama or epic drama written by Thomas Hardy is The Dynast. Okay, now we'll move on to the characteristics. The first characteristic is feature of Thomas Hardy is he had an intimate knowledge of local churches. So I told you, as he is trained as an architect, he know about the churches and the building. He had a good knowledge about the local churches. And Thomas Hardy was considered as a living paradox. He is also called as a natural poet, a poet with largeness, minuteness, and intensely of vision. Okay, so he is a poet who has largeness, minuteness, and intensity of vision. And the next characteristic of feature of Thomas Hardy is he is giving a varied detail of nature. So his description of nature is a different one, very description of nature, and he is having the right proportion of human tragedy. So most of his novels talks about death of a title character. So human tragedy is given in right proportion, and most of his novels is centering on this human tragedy. So the next characteristic is many of his characters have fullness and vigor. The characters that he describes are full of vigor and fullness. Okay, and then in use of tragedy, Hardy bears comparison with the great figures. So that is the contribution of Thomas Hardy. So in the view of tragedy, he is being compared with the greatest figures or the masters of literature. Okay, so he has the next character is handling sorrow in a good way. Sorrow, to be talking about sorrow, sorrow is also a character in Tess of the D'Urberville. Tess gives birth to a child called that she named as Sorrow. So this description so is also full of melancholy and sorrow. Okay, then he's always dissatisfied with the age. Okay, so always he's trying to say something against that age. Okay, so he was also homesick for the past. He's always thinking about the past, how the Victorian period is, how they are immensely flourishing, and now we are going down. So that is what he is talking about. He is always appreciating the past of England. Okay, the strong roots of English manhood and womanhood. Okay, he is appreciating the English manhood and womanhood of the past. And he distrusted modern civilization. So he is against the modern civilization. And here you can also see the conflict between ancient and moderns in his book also. So there is a war between ancients and moderns in the books of Thomas Hardy. And the masterly example of Hardy's genius is always the epic poem called The Dynast. Okay, so the last characteristic of Thomas Hardy is Hardy pities for all suffering creatures. So that is the greatest part. He even pities for all the creatures, even a small animal or anything. Okay, so he pities for all suffering creatures. Okay, so these are the characteristic features of Thomas Hardy. Students, I would like to give you an announcement, a note also to along with this. So I have gone through the question paper, and I have found Thomas Hardy as an essay question there. And if we go through previous questions, there is a compulsory question on Thomas Hardy. So definitely you have to go through this question. Please study this question. You'll be getting 100% this question. Okay, so keep studying, and don't give up. Please study. Don't think this is very hard, this is dry. So have some likeness towards this subject, so you will be definitely studying well. Okay.